So, aliens. Do they
Aliens,
exist?
definitely. Probably just not in the form that we imagine they do, though.
But we do agree that they do exist.
Right.
Yeah.
I just don't think like the whole movie interpretation of most aliens is accurate. Like big head, small body, got like the two like oval eyes or whatever.
Green and gray.
I feel like if there are aliens, it's gonna be like single cellular organisms like bacteria or something like that on a different planet,
I
like an
saw
exoplanet.
I saw like a recording of one of those squids that like change color to camouflage.
Yeah,
Those seem like the kind of interpretation of aliens we have.
maybe.
That seems like what they are. It's able to change its entire skin color in like a few seconds.
Yeah, I've seen some of those, um, like at the very bottom of the ocean, like the Mariana Trench and stuff like that. I feel like that's probably the closest we'll get to aliens on our planet.
Yeah. There was a picture of like baby owls standing up.
I think I've seen that, like in the
Yeah.
attic or whatever.
That looks like what aliens.
Yeah,
That's like the depiction we
creepy little
have.
things. I don't know. Won't know till we find them though. At least.
It's it's weird that people think that we are the only life form that exists out of the hundreds, thousands, billions of planets there are.
Yeah, it's just a question of whether the life that is out there is as intelligent as us or not.
There's like thousands in just our galaxy by itself, and people don't think there's a single other planet that has life living on it. They may not be able to live on our planet, we may not be able to survive on their planet, but surely life has evolved and been created on some other planet that's inhabitable to us.
Do you ever wonder if sometimes those aliens like they know about us, but they don't want to make contact with us because they just want to observe? Because I mean, you think about it,
Yeah.
the time frame from when humans were basically just primal apes and a super violent species into the time frame of us having thermonuclear weapons and able to basically destroy an entire planet if we wanted to. I
What's
mean, that
this?
time frame is super small. It's like a snap in the whole big perspective of life and the universe as a whole.
And who's to say that this species way over here wasn't created before us, before our planet was created, or maybe they were created after us. I don't know. There's a lot of videos saying that they've seen aliens, they've seen hovercraft, they've seen
Well,
weird
there's that
things,
one.
but there are obviously skepticals of it because it's people just trying to get views and go viral.
There's that one U.S. Navy footage that they released to the public. I think it was 1 or 2 years ago.
Of that
But it was
black.
no, so it was like it looked like a little tic tac, right?
Yeah.
And it went from 60,000 feet above sea level down to zero in like half a second, and it was all their software and everything was like calibrated correctly. Nothing was like malfunctioning or anything. It was legitimate. It just dropped out of the sky at that rate of speed. That's something that they'd never seen before, and it was
The
also confirmed by
one
like jet fighter pilots too.
the one that like started the whole craze was there was one video where it was they saw like a black hovercraft, and as they were trying to get close to it, it like accelerated maybe like 300 miles an hour and just sped off before they could even catch up. This was like a fighter jet as well.
Right.
So like it was already going fast, and then it outran it.
Yeah.
So it's hard to tell if it's aliens that are just being careless trying to observe, or if it's actually just some other military from some other country that
Right.
got spotted.
And you kind of start to think like, I think actually I don't remember what organization. I don't know if it was the CIA or just the U.S. government in general, but they publicly stated that yes, aliens do exist.
Yeah.
I remember that they made that statement whenever that video came out that the U.S. Navy had, came out with.
Yeah, but
It's kind of crazy.
the whole alien craze of like viral videos going off here and there that you see all over recommended YouTube, recommended all over Facebook, they kind of stopped and went away when they confirmed that. It's
Yeah,
kind of like, oh yeah, aliens exist, by the way, and everyone's like, oh,
go figure.
cool, and then no one ever talked about it.
Yeah,
It's kind
I
of
think
funny.
it's the mystery that intrigues people. Once the mystery is uncovered, it's just kind of like, oh, okay, so that's just part of our reality now. I'm just gonna accept that. But I guess there's still a lot left to be known and to be learned about such like aliens, you know.
There's this I don't know if it's real. I mean, it's probably real, probably not. It's this thing that like every single president has a time where they sit down and they're told about like these aliens, the info they have on them, what kind of contact they've had with them.
I feel like that's shortly after inauguration. I've always felt like all of the presidential candidates are just kind of left in the dark about what's really going on behind the scenes up until they're actually in the Oval Office in the White House.
We can't
And
say
there's all this like kind of stuff that they're just, you know, all this information that's just dropped on them, you know.
yeah.
And there's obviously like, I mean, it's like you remember stuff about like MK Ultra, all the CIA like undercover operations and stuff that they were doing in like the 70s and 80s, stuff like that. I mean, it's just crazy stuff that goes on behind the scenes, and general public doesn't even know about it.
We can't say anything that'll get Tom in trouble, so we can censor this out.
I mean, it's public knowledge at this point. So I mean,
Yeah.
it's just back then it was like so under wraps and like in secretive, you know.
Yeah.
That crazy stuff. It makes you wonder about what's going on nowadays. Kind of crazy stuff they're doing.
It's when was it? It was like 2016 when the whole like Doritos meme was a thing. They'd put that with like all these sound effects over any sort of like trick shot.
Oh yeah, the old MLG memes or whatever.
Wasn't it around
That
that,
was-
time when like
That was
all
earlier
the,
than 2016, dog. That was like 2013, 2012.
wasn't it around that time when like all the UFO videos were being made?
Kind of. I mean, UFO videos have been being made since like the 60s.
I'm saying that's when like they started getting more viral. People were like, "Oh my gosh, aliens exist because this guy edited giant spinning lights in the sky."
Yeah, I remember there was like a lot of like conspiracy theories on it at the time, and still is to this day, just not in the same light.
There was a time, I think it was 3 years ago, maybe 4. Me and my mom were standing on the back porch. My brother came out there too. We were looking up, and there was just this white. There was like this white dot looking thing. It literally looked like a circular hovercraft, and it was just sitting there, not moving. All the clouds were like blowing by it. All the clouds were going like really fast because of the wind, and it was just standing there, hovering, slowly moving forward. And my mom like looked like went on Facebook. It was spotted like maybe like 4 or 5 miles away, like an hour ago. So it was just slowly drifting, even though all these clouds were blowing past it.
Could have been a drone.
It could have been a drone, but like, why would it be that high up? And how is it staying so steady with all these clouds going right past it?
Drones are
It
pretty good
was-
nowadays, though. I mean,
It would have had to been a huge drone, though. It
there's
was.
some quad rotor drones. They're freaking massive. They're heavy too.
Then after that, like maybe 2 days later, there was a plane that came over our neighborhood. I was at school at the time, but my mom and my brother were there, and she said like this plane just came down so low it started shaking the house. She went outside. She could see each individual window on that airplane. And she said she could swear that she was able to see like
Was it
A
like a
human-
passenger jet or like a?
it was a I'm pretty sure she meant like a commercial airplane. She said she was able to see like the figure of a person through one of the windows. It was so close.
And do y'all live near an airport?
Mm-mm. No, the only planes
Weird.
we see, usually if we see a plane, it's those little things where like it doesn't even seem like 100 people could be in there.
Mm-hmm.
But like it was real low down this time. Like, have you ever been to Marietta?
Marietta, like just a city?
No, like the Chattahoochee campus in Marietta.
No, actually, I've not.
If you go down there, there's like planes that are really low down. You can hear them. You can see like the black smoke being left behind from the jets.
Pretty sure there's an airfield down there and down that way. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not Cobb International. It's something else.
Yeah, but like you can like I was sitting in my car one day because I got there like an hour early, and I just saw them passing over my car over the school, and I'm like, that's pretty close. I'm assuming that's how close she meant when she was talking about it. It's just really low down. You can see the windows in the airplane.
Yeah. You think it's probably about time?
Yep. Let's go ahead and end it now.
right.
Podcast out.
Yeah, we out. Signing off.